Save the trauma for your mama. Oh boy, you'll never guess what this movie's about. The Philippou brothers scored a surprise hit 2 years ago with Talk to Me. I was mostly positive on it, but I did see a few cracks in the horror armor. Is Bring Her Back a sophomore slump, or does it make this pair of filmmakers the next names in horror? Well, I can tell you right now, when the movie starts, it's not looking good. We have a trauma narrative. Step siblings Andy and Piper lose their father, so naturally they end up in foster care very quickly, too. They're in Australia and they get paired with Laura. She's a kind of kooky but mostly nice lady played by Sally Hawkins. But of course, there are red flags aplenty and weird things start happening. Laura lost her own daughter, and she has another foster child, Oliver, who totally isn't creepy. He just happens to have a shaved head, eats weird stuff, and stares out of windows blankly. Andy is Piper's big brother. She happens to be visually impaired, so he's very protective of her. But when Laura starts gaslighting Piper into thinking Andy is abusive and not the protective brother she needs, Andy decides he has to uncover what is going on. Well, what really is going on? The filmmakers really want to tease that out, and that's the draw of this movie. How does all this weird, creepy stuff add up? Well, I've already mentioned that's about trauma, like every other horror movie. And then when you throw on creepy kids and disturbing VHS tapes that are never explained, well, then you have a horror concoction that can either really deliver or fall flat on its face. Guess which one this does? To be fair, the Philippou brothers are excellent with the visuals. There's some really nice shots here. They're not too show-offy, but they do set a decent atmosphere. They shoot a little too close, but the use of space in the house and especially rain and the elements, good stuff. Likewise, the performances are exceptional. Sally Hawkins is one of the most underrated actresses we have. She's kind of incredible here. And the kids here, Billy Barrett and Sarah Wong, are very good. Less good is how the movie strings you along with its creepiness. There's a lot of body horror and mutilation and gore of the flesh, and the makeup effects are 100% convincing. So great stuff. We have all the elements of a decent horror movie. It wants us to attach to this emotional relationship between these siblings and the emotional backstory of Laura, but when combined with all the drippy, gross imagery, it can't fit them together. This ultimately becomes a vague and ambiguous and nonsensical horror experience. I'm not one to always want things explained, but you gotta give the audience something when you throw creepiness after creepiness. We have to infer what's going on from these ridiculous videotapes. Pretty soon it becomes this huge trauma soup. And what's really going on tries to be some kind of metaphor for grief and letting go. Never mind the fact that some truly horrific and horrible things happen later in this movie, and it's still trying to wring sympathy when we're kind of beyond that point. It takes the issues I had with Talk to Me, which was throwing rules and lore at you with like 10 minutes to go, and doubles down on that. You can kind of tell these filmmakers are YouTubers because they're image first and story second. These filmmakers do not trust the audience to just sit in silence and just listen. It's constantly just banging us with sound effects and score and oppressive atmosphere. It just becomes so frustrating and silly when horrific image after horrific image just starts not adding up. By the end, it's just goofy, not emotional. This is kind of what modern horror is. You throw a bunch of trauma in a blender, it's really cool, sick stuff, and you want to just elicit a reaction out of the audience. You don't want to satisfy them or nourish them. You just want people to scrunch in their seat and go, oh, that's gross, or oh, that's sick. If that's it, if that's the best we can do, if that's the best we can do with our new supposed voices in horror, then this genre is in deep trouble. You can't just throw a bunch of shit at us and expect us to say, wow. That doesn't fly anymore. Bring Her Back doubles down on all the problems of Talk to Me, creating a frustrating, gnarly, and just unsatisfying horror experience. Despite some cool visuals and exceptional performances, this movie just squeeze the last drops out of the trauma porn subgenre, and I just don't care anymore. I give this a regrettable 2 out of 5 stars. I am just traumatized out. But if you like this review, please like and subscribe or follow me on Letterboxd at RamirezS316. And there are so many fluids in this: spit and vomit and blood and goop. And it's just incessant. I mean, I'm not a prude and I don't get nauseous at movies at all. But I mean, come on. You're just assaulting the audience.